Hi, I'm Nita, and today I am super excited. I get to show you the brand new Silky Zubat. Thank you for watching. Yes, today I get to show you the brand new Silky Ultimate Professional Handsaw. Now this is not yet available in Australia. It won't be in the country until about the beginning of September, I think it is. Now this is different to every other saw in the Silky range. It's different to every other Zubat in the Zubat range. Now it might look the same, just with a little different outfit, but what is super special about this saw is it has a brand new tooth style. That's right. A completely different tooth to every other Silky in the Silky range and every other Zubat in the Zubat range. So let's break it down. Okay, so this is what your brand new Silky Zubat Ultimate Professional with the new tooth saw is going to look like when you purchase it. It's got this cardboard casing, which obviously we do not need for use, so you will remove that as soon as you get it. Oops. Then you'll get a bit stuck in the top. Okay. It appears to be wedged underneath the neck. I don't know why they've put it under there. So that is for safety. This is not going to come off anytime accidentally in the showroom, so good for us. You might need like a Stanley knife or something to get it out. It is really wedged in there. I'll be back. Okay, so Silkies are all about functionality, but also beauty. So we don't want a little bit of cardboard from the tag left on our new beautiful sheath. So I was on the way to go and get pliers to like pull it out because it seems to be wedged under this black thing. But then I realized you can actually just like pop this black thing up and then you can remove the cardboard, which is purposefully put in there, it appears. There's this little tab thing that keeps it under there. So if you go to remove the bit of plastic that tells you all the specs and the bits and pieces about this saw, and like me, you get a bit of the cardboard just left jammed under there and you don't want it to stay there because it doesn't look very good. You just like pry ever so slightly this bit of black metal there and it will pop forward, which will allow you to release that bit of plastic. So once again, very good design by Silky. Okay, so now we have removed said plastic and we have our beautiful olive green sheath here. So you also have these 4 loops here. Now these loops are for your straps, so they're attachment straps. So you have one strap for the bottom and one strap for the top. Now these can be attached to your legs, they can be attached to your backpack or cherry picker cage, wherever you need this to be secured. That's what these loops are for your attachment straps. They don't come with the Zubat, so you do need to order those separately. So you also have other attachment options as you do with the other Zubats. You've got your belt attachment. which removes really easily. You just press it and it pings out. Alright, so I might try that again. You also have a belt attachment option. Now this is removable, so you simply press those levers and that will come out. You can slide a belt through here, so you can attach it that way, or you've got the holes at the top, so you can put like a carabiner through there and again attach it to your belt or your backpack or whatever you're wanting it to be secured to. So that is your belt attachment option. Now with Silky as well, good point to remember is anything that comes off it easily like this is replaceable. So if you lost that, you can order that separately. Now for the exciting part, the saw. To remove the saw from the packet, you will need to pull it fairly firmly. It is designed so that it stays in the sheath. So when you turn the sheath upside down, you give it a good shake, it will not fall out of the sheath. So it's very safe and secure and not going to accidentally fall out and damage the teeth or damage yourself. But to remove it, you will need to pull quite hard. So what I always do is I lean my thumb on this little knobbly section here. So I sort of put pressure on that and then I hold the back of the handle and I just pull like so. So what you're doing when you're pulling it out is this bit of the handle here is actually locked under one of these rollers here. So when you pull, you are pulling it out from under that roller. So that's why you need a bit of pressure to get it out. So now that we have it out, we will need to remove this bit of plastic. Now this is simply for display purposes, so it's just when it's in a shop and customers are coming in and out and they're pulling the saw out and into the case to look at it. This stops the teeth from chewing into that roller that I showed you before. So it's not really necessary once you get it home. So take that off and toss it in the bin, and then you have your beautiful saw, which you will put yourself in your sheath and out without worrying about that protective bit there. So the tooth on the new Silky Ultimate Professional Handsaw is amazing. It has a, now apologies if I said this wrong, Gokai Mi is what I think it's called, and I think it's pronounced like that, and I'm sorry if it's wrong. But this new Gokai Mi tooth has a scraper tooth. This scraper tooth is shaped differently to the other teeth, and its purpose is to clear all of the wood chip out of your cut. So every time you pull on the saw, because remember Silky Saws are a pull saw only, when you pull back, it's not only cutting into the timber but also collecting all of those little bits of wood chip that you've just cut and dragging them out of the cut. So when you do your forward push, it's your gentle push because it doesn't cut in that direction. That scraper tooth again pushes all of that debris out of your cut. So when you go to do that draw, that pull cut again, you're going to get maximum depth into the branch that you're cutting because there's no wood chips impeding that cutting action. So that scraper tooth is just ingenious. And as always, groundbreaking, benchmark for pruning saws, absolutely amazing. The first of its kind. Alright, so when you look down the length of your Zubat blade, it takes a little bit to spot them. It's kind of like, fine, where's Wally? But your eyes will adjust and you'll see them. There are 4 of these new scraper teeth. So the Gokai Mi tooth design, scraper tooth, is 4 of them on the Silky Zubat 330 Ultimate. So 330 meaning the length of the blade, 330 millimeters long. So this new scraper tooth really should make this Zubat a super quick, super fast saw to use. So great for a professional user, great for a home user, great for anybody in emergency work. You're going to love this saw, but we're going to use it a little bit later and show you how it actually cuts. You may be wondering what size the new Zubat saw's teeth are. This saw has a graduating tooth style, so the teeth closest to the handle are smaller than the teeth on the tip of the handle. The reason they make it like this is when you start a cut, it's much easier to start the cut with a smaller tooth, but then a bigger tooth is going to cut quicker. So this way, because they cut on that pull stroke, you start right up next to the handle, and as you draw the blade through, you're going to get more timber coming out. So it's going to feel easy, but it's going to be a really quick cut. Now, the teeth closest to your handle, you've got 7.5 teeth per inch, and then as you go further down the blade, when you get to the tip, there's 6.5 teeth per inch. So it's not a huge difference, but it does slowly get bigger. So 7.5 teeth at the handle, 6.5 at the tip. So 7.5 through to 6.5 per inch is the size of the teeth on the Zubat new Gokai style tooth. These teeth are a non-set tooth, and they have had that impulse hardening process done on the tips of them. So it makes them really sharp. They'll last a really, really long time in that sharpness, but it means you can't sharpen them. So when you finally do dull the saw, you'll just need to buy a replacement blade. And one of the other great things I love about the Zubat range is you have so many blade options. So you've got this brand new, super exciting Gokai Mi tooth style. You've also got the extra large tooth blade, which is excellent for your sappy, big limbs. You've got your standard sort of large tooth, which is your good all-rounder. And you've got your fine tooth blade, which is brilliant for your stringy, really small fibrous materials. Cuts really, really well. And any of those blades will fit into the new Zubat handle and sheath. So it means you can have a selection of blades, and depending on what you're doing, pop the perfect one in for the job. But just a few features if you're not familiar with the Silky range and you're just looking at the Zubat new Gokai Mi tooth for the very, very first time. This has the same features that all the other Silky Zubats have. It has that special gom rubber handle, the gom rubber that they've won awards for. It gives really good grip. If you're sweating or you're wearing gloves, you really get a good grip on that handle. It's not going to get slippery or uncomfortable to hold. It absorbs vibration because when we're cutting, there's always going to be a bit of vibration going through the saw. It has the blade going full tang through the handle, so the blade goes all the way through to the back of the handle, and then you've got metal screws holding it in place, so that's never going to accidentally come apart, or the screws aren't going to break on you while you're using it. So really secure, really safe. And the benefit of your full tang as well is it absorbs a lot of movement. So if you do end up doing a little bit of twisting with the arm accidentally, or a bit of pushing, it's not going to break as easily because you've got some of that movement absorbed in the handle. There's a little knob at the end which protects you from accidentally stabbing holes in your trees unintentionally. Also just grips a little bit at the end, so you sort of have less chance of pulling out of your cut, because all your pressure with the Silky, don't forget, is towards you. So the action is really a pull, glide, pull, glide, pull, glide technique. Another great thing about the Zubat range is the shape of the handle. It's really well designed, so it sort of fits both a small and a larger hand. It's got that really nice sort of pistol grip, so very comfortable to hang on to. And that knob at the end of the handle there is a special design that gives a bit of support and pressure to the little finger, because that's where all the pressure should be, because it's a pull saw, so all that pressure should be on the back of the fingers there. So that's what that design's for, and it really does work well. Now if you've ever wondered why all of the handles have a hole on the end of them, that's again an attachment thing. Now very important if you're an arborist, a climber, you can just imagine they're up in the top of the tree and using it and accidentally drop it. If it falls all the way to the ground, then they've got to somehow get that back up to them, either climb down to get it or get somebody to rope it up to them. So the idea with this hole is they can put a lanyard on that, attach it to perhaps the sheath or just their climbing belt, and so that way if it's accidentally dropped, it's only a few seconds to pull that lanyard up, and then they've got their saw nice and handy and ready to use again. Again, with all Silkies, they put a lot of time and effort and cost into making the very best saw they possibly can, and there's special features which just make them unique and set them apart from many other saws on the market, and one of those is their hollow grinding process that they do on the blade. So when you look closely at any Silky blade, you'll see there's lines like this on the blade. Those lines are from the actual wheel that creates that hollow grinding. So it means that the widest part of your saw is actually the teeth, then the back of the blade, and then the narrowest part is actually the center of the blade here. So this is actually the narrowest section, and that means that when you're cutting, very, very little friction's happening because you're cutting a much wider hole than the blade is. So you're not having that rub, so it's not causing a resistance, and that's why a lot of the time people say, oh my gosh. They don't say that. That is a new word I made up. That is why when a lot of people are using a Silky, they'll say, oh my gosh, it just feels like I'm cutting through butter. It's amazing. And that's because you don't have that rub, that friction. Another important feature is they coat these blades in a nickel coating. That nickel coating gives them a rust resistance, a bit of protection. However, if you're watching this video and you're in Australia, it's kind of like it's a benefit, but it doesn't mean it's foolproof. So in Australia, we have some of the most acidic saps in the world. If you cut a palm tree, it's equivalent to dipping your blade into a bucket of salt water. It's so harsh on the metal. So that nickel does give you a degree of protection, but it's not going to stop your blade from rusting. So still really important. Give the blade a clean when you finish using it. Get all that sap off the blade and then spray it with an oil to give it protection. Now we've made videos on how to clean the saws, so you can look that up on how we recommend you actually go about cleaning them and putting the oil on, and we recommend a sheep oil, a lanolin oil. But just something to give that blade a bit of protection so that when you go to use it next, it's beautiful and shiny and ready to go. Because the moment you get rust on there, you're going to get friction points. So we want to avoid that. So as a bit of a recap, this is the new Silky Gokai Me tooth style 330mm long blade Zubat saw. It has the new scraper tooth. It's going to cut super fast, cuts on the pull stroke, blade interchangeable options. Absolutely fantastic. Awesome gum rubber handle that's super comfortable. You are going to love it. All right, well, we've talked all about how amazing this is, but, you know, proof's in the pudding, or in this case, in the pruning. So let's go put it to work and see what you think. One of the standout things I found when I was using this Zubat was how well it coped with the really sappy woods. Often they have a tendency to clog teeth and you end up pulling them out and clearing the teeth on your pants or sort of tapping them on the side of the tree, but this just, you could feel it clearing the cut and just chewing through the material. So absolute standout when it came to those really sort of moist timbers. Well, I think we can definitely say it stood up to the hype. This Zubat saw looks amazing, but cuts, oh my goodness, incredible. I now have to keep this. You need to order yourself one. This is amazing. Silky Japan, have outdone yourself. This saw is definitely incredible. I hope the video was helpful. Any questions, just pop them in the comment section or shoot us an email or give us a call. And thank you for watching. Until next time, you have a fantastic day. Bye. Thank you for watching. Yes, today I get to break down the brand new Silky Zubat Professional Ultimate. Zubat Ultimate Professional. I'm not sure which order they're supposed to be in, but nonetheless, it's for a professional. It's for a home user, but it is the professional saw for a home user, if that's what you are. Thank you for watching. Today I get to show you the brand new Silky Zubat Ultimate Professional. Yes, that's how they put it. Ultimate Professional Handsaw is a new benchmark for pruning. The, what do they call it? The scraper tooth, that's the one. It's not causing a resistance, and that's why a lot of the time people say, oh my gosh. They don't say that. That is a new word I made up. So talking about that scraper tooth, now this is a very unique tooth, and when you look along the length of this blade, you can actually see it. It's quite a different looking tooth to the other teeth. It's not every tooth, it's sort of, I think there's 4 per saw, so let me just count. Yeah, I think there's 4. I'm just going to check. I'm pretty sure I got an email telling me it was 4. Let's have a looky. Yes, 4. Okay, oops, let me check one other thing. I do not want to be giving you the wrong information. Alright. So yes, when you look down the blade, it's a little bit like finding Where's Wally in the beginning. But your eyes will adjust and you'll find that there are 4 of these scraper teeth in your new Zubat Ultimate Professionals. Gokai-me? Gokai. Okay. Alright, so the most incredible tooth design. Teeth. Zubat. You've got your belt attachment. which removes really easily. You just press it and it things out. Alright. So I might try that again. Well, that was amazing. The Silky Ultimate Professional new Gokai-me.